I'm not entirely sure how to follow that up. Hello, I'm Shea Dixon, and if you didn't know that by now, you're probably just here for the food, but that's okay. Okay. Hear me out. I'll get through this as quickly as possible. Before Scouts, I was afraid of the dark. Frightened to even open the door once the sun dipped below the horizon. Before Scouts, I was afraid to stand in front of a crowd, to present my point of view, to share my opinion. Now I'm here, still a little shaky in the legs, but only for the reason of being excited, no longer truly afraid. For those of you unaware, whenever an Eagle Scout achieves his or her rank, it's traditional that they recognize the closest of family, the hardest working of volunteers, and those influencing of individuals, to symbolize their importance as mentors to the Scout. However, I must first add that almost every person in this room has acted as a mentor or guiding light to me at some point during this process or at some point throughout my entire life. I wish I had a way to give each and every one of you an award, a pen, or a certificate of some sort. Without you here, and many who couldn't be here today, I would never have reached this achievement. So from the bottom of my heart, I would like to thank you all first. When it came time to find a project for my Eagle rank, I had a few criteria in mind. I wanted it to make an impact, to make a noticeable difference. I wanted it to benefit our waterways, the all-important aquatic environment of our area, and brace yourself for this Gulf Breezers. I wanted it to primarily be in my beloved hometown of Var. Luckily, I met Chris Verlind of the University of Florida Sea Grant Extension. Ms. Verlind has been a vital guide, mentor, festival teaching partner, and friend. And without her help, I was able to reach all of my project goals and more. And I couldn't have done it without her. I'm afraid she couldn't be here today, but I'd like to thank her nonetheless, and I will be giving her a mentor pen the next time I see her. Oh, I didn't see you.
Great job. I'm happy to be here. I really didn't expect this. So.
Thank you so much, Karen.
In Troop 417, anyone who has reached the status of Life Scout is on their path to Eagle soon. Realizes that the project is a lot more than just cleaning up a park or spreading mulch. The Eagle Project involves coming up with a plan, scheduling meetings, and making presentations to committees, getting shot down and making revisions and making more presentations to boards, making contingency plans, securing financial, and heavens, a lot of paperwork. All of this before a shovel can even touch the dirt. Then it all starts again afterwards. It's not just an exercise in community service, it's truly a project management boot camp of sorts. It is also a very valuable experience for which I'm sure I will greatly benefit in the future. Luckily, I had a great supporter in my corner. Jerry Pate has been a champion in many ways, U.S. Amateur, U.S. Open, PGA Player of the Year, but he's also been a huge champion of Scouts. A former Order of the Arrow member himself, Mr. Pate has sponsored an annual golf tournament that directly benefits area Scouts in need for over 4 decades. And has not only donated financially, but has personally jumped on the backhoe to move dirt at the Spanish Trail parade grounds. Mr. Pate did not hesitate when I needed supplies for my Eagle project, and without him, I wouldn't be here tonight. Now, I know, unfortunately, Mr. Pate couldn't be here tonight because he's playing in Birmingham on the PGA Champions Tour, but I will be meeting with him soon to thank him personally and award him the summer plaque. so many of my pursuits. Sorry. This lady is always there to help me in any way she can. She has been an awesome family friend and a great leader in not only my scout life, but also my 4-H life. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Victoria Valley. Paper's flying everywhere. I'm a little discombobulated today. I'm just excited. Throughout my years of scouting, I've had a great honor of learning from several experienced and expert scoutmasters, assistant scoutmasters, cub masters, and den leaders. Many of their faces I see here tonight. Each one of them deeply influential to my journey in scouting, and I cannot begin to thank them for their instrumental help. Therefore, as representatives of all my great scoutmasters and cub masters, I would like to recognize some of these wonderful volunteers, mentors, and leaders. For taking the helm of Troop 417 and leading us all down the trail into a bright future, Mr. Rick Reeder. For being the single greatest advocate for the basic philosophy that scouting should not only be a learning experience, it should also be fun, I would like to thank my Pack 105/106 Cub Master, Mr. Keith Lowe. Unfortunately, he also couldn't be here today, but I have his plaque for him, so we will give it to him. My first Scoutmaster, the man whose hand of welcome was extended to me when I crossed over from Cub Scouting, and remained on my shoulder as a steady guidance all the way through my Eaglebird review, Mr. Bill Fisher. For the vast majority of my time in Troop 417, we have been led by a terrific teacher, leader, and mentor. He not only set a true and steady course for our troop, he has set a stellar example for all of us, and on how to be prepared, how to get the job done right, and how to be fine people. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Clayton Linkus. Approximately only 4% of scouts who join ever make it to the rank of Eagle. However, our troop is slightly different. Our troop, with its scout-led leadership, with a prime selection of scoutmasters, and with a committee unlike any other, pushes us and encourages us more than any other scout troop in the world to reach this high rank. For that reason, we consistently and happily overachieve. Though I may not give pins to all of you, I would like to award a symbolic mentor pin to the troop as a whole, as a token of the help, guidance, and wisdom each and every one of you have bestowed upon me throughout my 10 years in scouting and my 5 years in Troop 417. Thank you all. Though they live many miles away, their tremendous influence easily spans that great distance. They have both dedicated their lives to the service of others, becoming educators and advocates for those voices who are barely heard. They have showed me how to think globally and act locally, and have proven that one man can make a movement or moment into a movement. Even today, they lead their local St. Vincent de Paul Society in New Jersey with the goal of ending poverty through systematic change. I would like to thank my grandmare and great-grandfather, Mary and Jean Dixon, for setting this wonderful example of love and service to others. My pappy, Jerry Birchfield, is a hard-nosed, strong-willed individual, and he's an original. His ideals windswept by the western gusts of Oklahoma, he has never been shy in sharing his opinion, but always willing to hear yours, and then subsequently agree to disagree. But that crusty exterior hides a soft center, family and friends, and though he cannot be here today, I greatly appreciate his love and support. Being a military wife, especially in the days before smartphones, Skype, and the internet, was the ultimate test for the philosophy of being prepared. My Mimo had to be prepared for anything. New town, new house, new schools, unpack it all, then pack it back up or bug it out again. Sounds a lot like Scott's life. She did all of this and kept an ever-changing family intact. She is a wonderful example of resiliency. When military retirement turned a new page, she took flight with a great career at Delta Airlines. Commitment, duty, honor. These are words carved into stone for my papa. A career military man and combat veteran, he faced the worst and has seen the worst. All with a prayer that no one else would have to. He rose from infantryman to sergeant major and now extends that same steadfast commitment to his family. They have always been here for me with open arms and an open fridge. And I would like to thank my Mima and Papa, Marcella and Louis Daugherty for the love, support, and guidance. I want to need you for this one. Beyond my grandparents and parents, my longest and closest partner in life has been my brother Chase. Chase and I have shared everything since the day he was born. Toys, clothes, a room, a backseat of the car, and a YouTube channel. Not to mention ideas, fears, hopes, and dreams. He is my staunchest advocate, my biggest fan, and my harshest critic. And I certainly am his. He is motivationally supportive, extremely kind and overly generous in heart and in spirit. His intelligence and wit bring complete joy, and I'm forever in awe of the few things we do not share. His athletic prowess and his killer dance moves. He was Den 7's mascot when I was Tiger, and he has been by my side on every step on my trail to Eagle. Hail, brother, I could not have done it without you.
Wait, picture.
All right, Ernest Bass.
There's no one true way to explain or describe my father. A product of his South Jersey upbringings, his personality has been molded by the words and inspiration of Bruce Springsteen, Carson Wentz, and Rocky Balboa. An honest-to-goodness Renaissance man who can be found playing Buddy Holly on his guitar, scoring a goal in soccer, designing a poster for a charity foundation, and then whistling a tune from Fiddler on the Roof, all within the span of about less than a half hour. He is one of the greatest and most caring individuals I've ever known, and without him, I could have never gotten through not only this challenge, but many other challenges that my family has faced throughout our lives. An unrelentless family man, always ready to help me with writing a speech or play around soccer with my little brother. There's no way I could be here as a person or as a scout without his help. My parents are fond of long car trips. We'll find a cheap airfare from Seattle, Chicago, Denver, or to Seattle, Chicago, Denver, Boston, wherever, whenever, and then we'll rent a car and just drive for miles. Somewhere between the next national park and the world's biggest ball of twine, my mother will inevitably turn to us and say, "I sure love this family." To which my father usually replies, "Well, you're the reason we're all here." Throughout my entire life, there is no truer statement. She always knows just when to push and just when to back off. She knows just when to lead and just when to follow. She knows just when I need a kick in the butt and just when I need a hug from my mama. And when she came face to face with a word like cancer, her very first thought was not, why me? It was, what about my family? My mother's infinite reservoir of grace and kindness inspires me in unmeasurable ways. And her grit and determination is the reason I stand before you as an Eagle Scout and as a human being. In more ways than one, she is the reason we are all here tonight. Mom and Daddy, I love you and thank you for it all. Through Scouts, I have had the ability to march proudly through the pine forests of Mississippi, to barrel down the rushing waters of the rivers of North Carolina, and to sleep high among the mists of the mountains of Georgia. In Scouts, I've had the opportunity to study history through the American Heritage Merit Badge, to speak with Scouts across the world through the Citizenship in the World Merit Badge, and to contribute with my family to my family dynamic through the Cooking and Family Life Merit Badges. Bottom line, without Scouts, I would have missed out on a great deal of experiences, opportunities, and adventures. Now I look among the faces here tonight, faces of people from every walk of life, nationality, profession, and persuasion. From coal mining towns of Pennsylvania and the mountains of Tennessee, from California's Pacific coast to the Jersey Shore, from the infinite forests of the great Northwest to the turquoise and blue of the Gulf Stream waters. And I am humbled to realize that for tonight, you have all found common ground, a reason to come together and celebrate. My hope and prayer is that moments like this can become a beacon for our country, for our world. Thank you all so much for